How could they leave so easily? Why did the person who once held me every night vanish like I never existed? Why am I the one crying, analyzing, unable to sleep, while they're silent, moving on as if they feel nothing? If you've ever loved someone with an avoidant attachment style, you know this pain. It's not just heartbreak, it's being abandoned by someone you gave your soul to, and worse, being left so coldly it makes you question your own worth. They go silent. They don't apologize. They don't come back. And you wonder, did they ever love me at all? But the truth is, avoidants don't feel pain right away. Their attachment system works on a delay, and that's why their pain comes late, but it lasts, lingers, and haunts them silently. While you're busy healing, they're only just beginning to realize what they've lost. And by then, it's often too late. This video tells you what no one else will. You weren't too much. You didn't love the wrong way. And it's not that they didn't feel pain. They did. They just felt it when you were no longer around to see it. You thought they didn't hurt, that they didn't miss you, that they moved on in a heart. They walked away, went silent, posted smiling pictures, while you sat in the silence wondering, how can someone who once held me so close now feel so distant? But what you didn't see was this. They weren't in pain yet. The heart of an avoidantly attached person doesn't operate like most people's. It doesn't react instantly. It doesn't shatter when the door closes. It shuts down first. It suppresses emotion. And because of that, its pain comes late. In the first few weeks after the breakup, especially during the first 30 to 90 days, avoidants often enter a psychological state known as deactivation euphoria. They feel relief, as if they've finally put down something too heavy. This feeling can even mimic a kind of victory. I did the right thing. I needed space. I needed my freedom. And in that exact moment, while you're losing sleep, unable to eat, breaking apart, they seem fine. That contrast makes you feel like the broken one, like you were too much, too emotional, too invested. But you weren't wrong. You just had a more secure attachment system. Avoidants were often conditioned from childhood not to feel too much, raised in environments where emotional needs were unsafe, unpredictable, or unrewarded. They learned early on to disconnect as a survival strategy. They chose control over connection, silence over communication, withdrawal over vulnerability. What they, and so many others, don't realize is this: you can't shut down your heart forever. You can only delay its reckoning. And when it comes months later, sometimes even a year, it's not sharp like a blade. It's slow, heavy, and draining because they've been suppressing so much. And that delay doesn't protect them from pain, it only multiplies it over time. It's like holding back tears when you need to cry. The emotions don't disappear. They accumulate. And then, one day, they wake up in the middle of the night or in the middle of a new relationship and feel a strange emptiness no one can quite fill. That's when they start to miss you. Not because you suddenly became more perfect, but because the freedom they once craved has become the loneliest prison. And then time passes. No more texts, no more old photos, no more familiar laughter when the front door opens. Everything goes quiet. By now, the relief they once felt, the sense of freedom, the I did the right thing, confidence begins to fade. Not dramatically, but subtly, quietly, in everyday moments. A dinner eaten alone. A half-watched movie, no longer interesting without someone to share it with. A birthday without your message. From months 3 to 6, something begins to surface slowly, unconsciously. A strange sensation of missing something, not in a loud, obvious way. Just everything tastes a little duller. They start to miss you, not out of desperation, but in the tiny rituals. How you made your coffee, where you left the remote, how your head always rested on their shoulder at the exact same spot during movies. They begin to realize no one feels like home the way you did. Then from months 6 to 12, it's no longer just absence, it's biting regret. They see you differently now, not through direct contact, but through the digital remnants. They can't stop checking your growth, your peace, your happiness. And sometimes someone new by your side while you're rebuilding your life step by step. They're stuck comparing the new people to you, comparing the comfort others offer to the deep emotional safety only you provided. And even if they seem like they've moved on, inside, they're unraveling. No one reaches them like you did. No one makes them feel understood, even in their darkness, like you did. Then from months 12 to 18, they enter what psychology calls attachment panic, a psychological reckoning where they simultaneously realize the depth of what they've lost and the truth that they were the one who destroyed it. The pain isn't just about your absence. It's about their role in pushing you away. It's the sharp awareness that they had a chance and they chose fear over love. Now, they don't just miss you because you were someone they dated. They miss you because you represent everything they avoided confronting in themselves. Their fragility, their capacity for deep love, and their unbearable fear of being truly seen. And the most painful truth? They can't do anything about it. They can't text you. They can't show up because by now you've walked too far forward on your healing journey. Their regret is no longer a passing emotion. It's the collapse of an identity, the idea that they were fine, that they were right, that they never needed anyone. Now they know, I destroyed the best thing I ever had. Not because you were perfect, but because you loved them longer than they ever believed they deserved. Their pain doesn't burn like yours did. It freezes, and it settles into their bone. Every day, they realize, you're not waiting, you're not there to forgive. You're not there at all. That moment when they finally know you're not coming back is the moment every wall they built comes crashing down. No more excuses. No more, we weren't compatible. Just one truth, raw and unfiltered. I pushed away the last person who ever tried to understand me. And that is the most devastating truth an avoidant heart will ever have to face. When regret stops being a passing emotion and becomes something they live with, you might think it's the end of the story. But for the avoidantly attached, this is actually when the real breakdown begins. Because here's what no one tells you. No contact isn't just disconnection from you. It's the final severing from the part of themselves they've spent a lifetime avoiding. For avoidant, control equals safety. They can't regulate emotion, so they regulate distance. They can't face the pain of connection, so they manage the flow of information. And when you cut off all signals, no texts, no updates, no emotional access, they don't just lose you, they lose the very defense system that kept their identity intact. They no longer know if you still care or if you've completely moved on. They don't know if you're angry, at peace, or indifferent. And that not knowing begins to drive them silently mad. They start scanning your social media, watching your stories, checking who likes your photos, analyzing every caption, every comment, not to celebrate your happiness, but to ask themselves, are they in love with someone else? Every piece of joy you share becomes a question mark against their identity. Every achievement, every radiant moment that no longer includes them triggers a deeper question. Did I let go of the only person who ever truly loved me? Their regret isn't just about losing you. It's about the realization that they had love, real love, and they rejected it. This isn't the kind of regret that says, maybe we should try again. This is the kind that whispers, I destroyed something sacred because I didn't know how to receive it. And tragically, it was the very thing they had waited their entire life to receive. A love that didn't require them to be perfect. A connection that didn't punish their flaws. A partner who simply chose them and stayed, even when they pushed away, even when they shut down, even when they were at their most emotionally unlovable. By now, the avoidant is no longer the one who left. They've become the one left behind by their own decision. They enter a deep inner conflict. They want to reconnect, but they can't find the words. They want to apologize, but don't know how. They want to come back, but they know it's too late. And the very belief they once projected onto you that you're too much, too emotional, too needy, now turns inward as a self-inflicted curse. I was never enough to handle the love I was given. At this point, no contact becomes a psychological prison. There's no reset button. No, hey, how are you? No, can we talk? Only silence. And in that silence, the final truth cuts through like a blade. I was the one who ruined the best thing that ever happened to me. This realization doesn't usually spark immediate action. Avoidants rarely act impulsively to repair what's been lost. Instead, they hide. They overthink. They play roles in the outside world, while internally, they're collapsing piece by piece. You don't see their pain because avoidant pain doesn't explode, it accumulates. And like anything suppressed for too long, it eventually implodes silently and destructively. They are no longer in control, no longer the one who holds the power. Now, they are the one left behind, powerless to influence your healing. And that, in the end, is the cruelest sentence of all. To realize they were wrong and to know that it's far too late to make it right. To remember they were once loved and to know they no longer deserve that love. And then, the most ironic truth finally arrived. By the time they start to understand what love is, you've already rebuilt your life without them. By the time they whisper, "I wish," you're smiling again at the little things you once thought would never bring joy. By the time they want to return, you've already walked too far ahead. And here is the cruel but necessary truth. Just because they're in pain doesn't mean you have to go back. Yes, their pain is real, but it's not an invitation to return. And it's certainly not proof that they've changed. They may be hurting, but that does not mean they've grown. Regret is not the same as transformation. Tears are not the same as accountability. They might miss you terribly. They might be sleepless, grieving, spiraling in guilt. But you must remember, their pain is the natural consequence of choices they once defended. And that pain is not your burden to carry. No contact isn't punishment. It's a boundary. It's the quiet but firm message that says, if you couldn't honor this love while you had it, you now have to live with its absence. It's how you protect your emotional safety. It's how you tell your own heart, I deserve a love I don't have to chase, prove, or beg to keep. They will have to walk their own path, but you no longer need to walk it with them. You were once patient, brave, and deeply loving. Now is the time to be clear-headed enough not to return just because they're finally hurting. If you've ever loved someone with an avoidant heart, if you've ever felt like you gave love to someone who didn't know how to love you back, share your story in the comments. Not to get them back, but to let yourself be seen, heard, and begin to heal. And if something in this video spoke to you, click subscribe. This is a space where you won't be judged for loving deeply and where you'll learn to love yourself even deeper